If you have a good story you think you need to change society, they are here to help you. Yeah. And I love biographies. One thing, because I love biographies, is that you can never live long enough to make your own mistakes. So biographies will help you to learn from people's mistakes, to be able to live your life better. So I would like to leave you with one excerpt from one of the biographies that I really enjoy. It is one of the accounts, one of the most authentic accounts of the slave trade from the slave's point of view. And that's Ulauda Equiano, also known as Gustavus. And he says at the end of his book that my life and fortune have been extremely checkered, and my adventures various. Even those I have related are considerably abridged. If any incident in this little work should appear uninteresting, trifling to most readers, I can only say, as my excuse for mentioning it, that almost every event of my life made an impression on my mind and influenced my conduct. So I would like to relate that to Linda's one as well. If anything that we do here becomes uninteresting, please forgive us. But you know that whatever we've done here has had an influence on our mind, our conduct. Welcome all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Publisher. It's very funny. I was hanging out with him in the front. I didn't know he was a publisher. When you get to my age, everybody's a small boy. A small boy, I know it's about publisher. Those who have grown will bear with me, you know. All of a sudden, I go to the hospital, I'm older than the doctor. What is happening here? But Mr. Publisher, thank you so much. And I like that you publish things that are educational and things that will broaden our minds, and that's what you have done with this book, and I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot about the book. In the meantime, we're going to get a cultural performance. If Mr. Sechama is here, we're going to get a cultural performance, after which we're going to invite Justice Mrs. Julia Sarkodie-Mensah to give us a review. So the cultural performance is next. In the meantime, I see in the audience Mrs. Angela Furiata. Welcome. Good to see you here with us. Show some love. Mr. Sachema, if you're ready, we'll take the cultural performance now, after which we shall listen to a review of the book. Are they here? What is it? Oh, they are here? I know you don't believe me, but that's okay. And I made a small mistake. I almost skipped a very, very important part. Before the book review, we're going to have an interaction with the author. And we all know who the author is, Linda Ampah. And she's going to have an interaction with Reverend Mrs. Mariam Enim. So we're going to show them some love as we watch the interaction.
Thank you so much for being here. It's such an honor, and I think that this is, to me, is the most interesting part of the program, where we get to know the author, Linda, who happens to be my big sister, and so I'm very proud of you, and the entire family is very proud of you for the nice work that you have done with this book. Here to my left is Mrs. Angela Oforiata. Please give her a round of applause. So we're going to be a part of our discussion today to give the clinical background or the psychology behind some of the, her expertise on some of the topics that we will be discussing here today. It's going to be short, but it will be very engaging and interesting. And would also, I think everybody here got numbers, so we would also take questions at some point, maybe not in this segment, but before we end, so that you can get to ask Linda any question that you want. So if your number is selected, then you will be called. And so Linda, is it okay if I call you Linda?
Very okay.
Okay, all right. So we can put the sister somewhere else and then call you Linda. Only for 30 minutes. That's fine. That's fine. All right. Well, again, we thank God for bringing you to this point. I had the pleasure of reading this book on my way to see my father in Nkoko. So from Progressive to Nkoko, that was what I did, and it was really engaging. And I'm surprised that there are things in there that I never knew. And I'm sad that you hid it from me all these years, but it was good. I was sharing this with a friend of mine yesterday that our mother passed away when we were very young. Well, she was 15, I was about 4, is that right? Okay, and it gave me a new insight to what our mother's life was. And for me, that was a blessing. So your book did many things for me, but it really got me connected to Auntie and who she was and the kind of person that God gave us, and I was very intrigued by that. So I just want us to begin, and I will bring Mrs. Oforiata in at some point. But I would really want you to help us understand the journey behind pieces of the portrait. I know that it wasn't an easy journey, but if you can just throw some light and help us to understand why this book, why do you think it's very needful that we have this book at this time?
Thank you. It's simple. When I was growing up, I sort of had a clear idea what I wanted to do. And I get a lot of pleasure from dressing people, making people look good, making people feel good about themselves. So I thought that, I had found my purpose in life and that's all I'm going to do. And then I got invited to join the Ghana's Most Beautiful, which is a beauty pageant. I got to be a judge on it about 13 years ago. And then it put me in a different light altogether. Now, I have a lot of young people who are attracted to me one way or the other because they see me on TV all the time. So then I found myself in a space that I've never prepared myself for. Because of my background, I lost a lot of my youth. So it was very difficult for me to even engage young people. I don't have a lot of patience for them. They irritate me a lot. You know, now I find myself with this group of people, and I knew that I couldn't afford to let them down because they need somebody to guide them along their walk in this life. You know, so I went to the Lord in prayer and, Lord, why am I here? What is my purpose? Why have you brought me into this place that I'm totally unprepared and unequipped for? And so I knew that I had to change my course at some point. So as I turned 50, I have been battling with writing this book, to write, not to write, to write, not to write. My husband has always been encouraging me that, you know, you have a story to share. You need to share it for somebody, at least for your young audience, to read and get something out of it. You know, so I decided instead of just celebrating my birthday by myself, I'll share my story with my young audience and let them know that the journey is not smooth. There are a lot of turns, planned and unplanned, but with God on your side, it's possible that you can still find a way. So that's the purpose for writing this book.
Wonderful. You had mentioned that there were many experiences in your childhood, and I know that you have actually described quite a few in this book, and some of it I think is shocking. You will never believe that it actually happened to her, and I think that that is the reason why you have to get this book. It will shape the lives of all our daughters. But can you just pick one? I don't want to give you one particular one that I'm interested in. I want them to read. But can you just pick one, you know, and how that episode affected your life, and maybe Mrs. Soforeta can also throw some lights on that and what kind of impact it has on the girl's life.
All right, so I'll share one that I shared in the book. I was sexually abused at a very young age, and the effect it had on my life growing up, compounded with my mother's death at a very tender age as well, and how I had to navigate my way through life. You know, for me, I think it changed my whole course of life completely, and I share that in the book. Some of the challenges that I've gone through, and even as an adult and at 50 years, I still go through that every now and then. You know, you pray through it, you cry through it, you pretend through it, and it's there. You know, so that's just one episode that I talked about in the book. There are several things that have gone on in my life, and this is just a few pieces that I've shared with you. The other pieces is a 100-chapter book. Might come at some point in my life, but these are just one of the few things that I shared in the book.
And I think that this is a very profound thing that you've done in this book, really sharing this conversation with others, because most of the time we consider things like this as taboos. We never share them. I mean, I want to know how you gathered the courage to really come to this point where you felt like we needed to know, you know.
In the past, maybe year and a half or so, there's been a lot of things going on in the media. In the US, there's the Me Too movement. To be quite honest, it encouraged me. Hearing other people share their story encouraged me. And even in Ghana, I hear a lot of cases now on radio. Somebody abused a child here and there, and it's announced. Now, the reason I brought that out was the way we handle it as a society, as parents, how we handle such situations. So I thought that, you know what, I don't have all the answers, but I'll bring it out, and at least we can discuss it. And then, who knows, maybe a psychologist can help us, because I think the way we handle it even kills the victim completely. Your whole life is shut because of the way we handle it. And I don't condemn us. I say that it's because we don't know what to do. You know, as a parent, if your child is abused, we are not equipped. We don't know how to handle it. So you end up blaming the same victim. You're a bad girl, you brought it on, you wore a short skirt, and that's why this person was attracted to you. Things like that. So I thought that I'll share that, and then, maybe you can help us. The idea is that as a society, we hush a lot. And I think it's killing us. And we need to begin to talk about issues because it's killing our women. I know friends who have gone through such situations and it's hurting. It affects your marriage, it affects raising your own children. It goes all round and it comes back and hurts you, one way or the other. So I don't have the answers, I really don't. But I thought I'll share it. Why not?
Wonderful. And Doctor, I want to really bring you in here because I believe that this is not just Linda's story. This is somebody's story as well. There's someone sitting here who have been abused. It could be a girl or even men as well who were abused when they were younger. And some of them are still struggling with how to deal with the effects of this in their marriage and things like that. So I just want you to throw some light. How can they find this strength, to be able to begin to throw some light on it or share their story or their pain?
I appreciate that. Linda and I have been friends for more than 26 years. And I used to spend a lot of afternoons with her. And when I was a young mom, and my kids were running in and out of your drapes in the shop, and we talked about many things. And eventually, I think you did mention this incident, and we talked a little bit about it. So when Linda told me she had written this book, I thought, she is absolutely courageous. I just felt this is an amazing thing for her to do in our country. So I echo is all I can say. Thank you, because many of us will grow from it, and many young people will learn from it. Child sexual abuse is not an easy thing. It is not an easy thing, and it is quite inexcusable, because the ramifications are dire, like Linda said. Linda is perhaps one of the few people who has been able to live through it, succeeded, and had the courage to talk about it. But many of us in the room, many women outside, would have experienced child sexual abuse, which would have led to anxiety, led to depression, led to self-doubt, suicidal thoughts, and then just not able to strive. And even when able to strive and be resilient, at great personal cost. Linda has talked about some of the effects on people's interpersonal life, marriage. I know people who have never gotten married or sustained an interpersonal relationship because their boundaries were broken or hacked into too young. And women who continue, women and young men who continue to put themselves at risk because of having suffered child sexual abuse. So, what I have often told my medical students is, when you are faced with somebody who has suffered this, you cannot add to the victim's pain by asking insensitive and foolish questions. like Linda said. Why were you wearing a short dress, or why did you go to his room? When all our lives we have told our children to obey. Obey when an older person calls you. We've populated our houses with nephews, you know, who are in their prime, and there's no great supervision of young girls in our homes. When sex is not something we talk to our children about. There's a lot that we can learn from this book about protecting our boys and girls and making sure that our homes are safe for our children. But I came to listen to Linda, so I didn't know.
Well, thank you so much. And Linda, as I read through this book, one of the things that I see is your faith being made very clear. And I want you to help us understand how your faith has really impacted this journey, because you're not just, now you've become a writer or an author. That's a new title that we just added to your many accomplishments. And then even as you talk about your faith, I would also want you to help us. There are a lot of business women in this place, and married as well, you know, things like that you're doing. And I want you to be able to help us understand how you're able to network and merge all these beautifully. For those of us who know you personally, we can see that you're doing well, unless Carl has a different take on it, but I think you're doing well, so help us understand. So there are about 2 questions in one.
All right, so I accepted Christ maybe about age 11, 12, thereabouts. And it was at my lowest point. Without Christ, I don't know how I would have been. Christ made it possible for me to look forward to the next day. I found myself surrounded by people who had a lot of faith in this person we call Jesus. And they didn't know too much about my story. They probably would have heard because they were in the neighborhood, but they never heard anything from me. They influenced me a lot. And so I took Christ into my life. And I knew that along the way, I mean, at the beginning, of course, I didn't know I was going to fall left or to the right, but I knew that with him in my boat, it was possible for me to journey on. Yes, I've had falling by the roadside every now and then, but I think because of that seed that was sown in me when I was much younger, and every time I hit rock bottom, somehow he came back and pulled me out. You know, and I knew, and I always had that comfort within Christ and within that space, you know. Jumping a little bit. So it hurts me when I see Christianity today being very monetary and very, I call it almost trickster kind of thing. It hurts me because that's not what I knew. I saw love, I saw comfort, I saw encouragement from the young group that I found myself in. You know, a very close friend of mine's brother led me to Christ. So it is by the faith that, I was able to journey on. As far as business is concerned, yes, it's been a lot of challenges. I have done everything you can think of. I have done it before. Everything. Believe me, everything.
Not everything.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
You know, so even that in business, when things become very difficult, it's always going back to Christ that made the difference. Somehow, when I go to the Lord in prayer, He will throw a light somewhere. He will give you another vision, something to start, somebody to go to for counsel, you know, things like that. Along the line, He has brought angels on my path who held my hand and then encouraged me to move on. I remember, I don't think Ken will probably remember this, something he told me maybe like some 26 years or so ago. I remember I mentioned to him, this Ken is Angela's husband. I remember telling him that I feel so alone. I don't want to be alone. He said, yes, you are alone. You are alone. But you're going on, you're moving on, and you can do it. There's nothing wrong with being alone. You're moving on, you're forging ahead. You know, it stuck with me. He probably won't remember. It stuck with me, you know. So it's my faith that has sustained me through all the challenges, you know. And I always go back to Christ in prayer, even when I'm falling by the wayside. I know that He's there. You know, a little short prayer, and I say, Lord, yes, I moved here, but please help me back on my feet again. And He does. So I encourage all the women here, and the men also, hold on to your faith. That is what makes all the difference in marriage, in bringing up your children, in business, whatever you find yourself doing. It is faith that has brought me thus far.
Thank you. Please put your hands together for her. There are so many things that Linda writes about in this book, and I think this is great for schools and for many different organizations. It will really empower our young men and women in our society today. We don't want to take too much time in this discussion. Maybe I can just take number 22 to just ask one question before we bring this to an end. So if you have number 22, who has number 22? Number 22, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Can we take your question? You can just project your voice. Please stand up and ask your question. Number 22, wonderful. Do you have a question for Linda?
I want to congratulate Linda.
Wonderful.
She is a beautiful person. And I have gotten to know Linda through the Sanford Seed Network. And Linda is our vice president. And so through, we're supposed to be, it's a professional network, but she has a very warm personality. And I have not yet read a book. I even don't want to hear anything about it. I just want to read the book. And so I really don't have a question, but I just want to say thank you, because I know what it is like to be a young person without any kind of direction. And a lot of young people have to look outside of Ghana. And I also know that experience, having things that you can relate to is great, is very important. And not enough of us are writing stories for the next generation. And so I just want to say thank you and well done.
Okay. Well, okay. So I wanted to add to that that there is help. I think if any of us here in the room have to deal with people, young people who have had a really rotten experience, then we want to tell them it's not their fault. That's the first thing. And if people want to talk about their past experience, it's really important to assure them that it's not their fault that this abuse happened. And the importance, if you are an adult adjudicating in this matter, and because I'm half Jewish, I believe in punishment and reparation. And that is a key aspect of getting people to get better from child sexual abuse, this Yemalinka, let's do this, what do you call it? Let's talk about it, it doesn't work. Because it makes the victim or the child feel like they've been sold. And that is a very difficult thing to overcome. So if you have to adjudicate, you make sure that there is reparation. And there is also an opportunity for that child sexual abuser to get some help. Because in many cases, they themselves have been abused or introduced to sex way too early. So, and then get some help for the child. You know, somebody that makes the child feel loved. And also, now we have psychologists in the country or counselors who have been trained. You know, get some help for that child. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you very much. And Linda, I have 2 questions for you. There are many that are watching us now. We're on Facebook Live and so many other places. But if you could tell your younger self anything at all, looking back, what would it be?
Wow. That's a difficult one.
Do you need a moment to cry?
I will tell my younger self, Linda, it's okay. You will be well.
Well, I just became Barbara Walters. I made her cry. It's gonna be okay. Well, if you are watching wherever you are, it's gonna be okay. And there's always help, just like Doctor said, there's always help for you. So please don't be shy about it. It's time to come out, and maybe Linda's story is your way out. Sometimes you can just stand on somebody's shoulder and begin to rise, so you can rise again. And there's a phrase in Whitney Houston's song that I love so much. He said that I didn't know my own strength. And so you got strength in you to rise up. So Linda, my last question. Fill this blank for me. Linda, yeah, Ampah is?
Oh. Linda Ampah is faith personified.
Wow. Linda Ampah is faith personified. With a standing ovation and a round of applause, please let me introduce to you the latest author in town, my dear lovely sister, Mrs. Linda Ampah. Oh, she happens to be on Hima too, right, Ma? Princess Linda of the, where is it? Akwemufie. So please put your hands together and let's celebrate her. Linda, it has been a pleasure. We thank God for your life, and we want to see a sequel to this. Many more books coming out. Many juicy stories coming out. We want to hear everything. Please again, let's celebrate my dear sister. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Barbara Walters. Show her some love. That was really a very powerful moment there. Extremely powerful moment. And Barbara, we're all touched. I have 2 things before we move on to the next review coming up. 2 things that I want to tell the public. One is an apology. The second one is a prophecy. The apology is going to Angelo Furiata. You know, whenever I'm MC and I've introduced any man who has the slightest inkling of being a professor, I do mention it. Coming up, Professor so-and-so, so-and-so. What is the lady? I forget. Angela is a professor, the esteemed one, and Angela is true. I know I approached Angela once when one of my children needed counseling for some different reasons, and I was amazed at how you handled it. To date, he still has your number in his book. So thank you. And, there's always a way out. Angela, thank you. Professor. Professor Angela Brett, thank you very much. The next one is the prophecy. Hey. Me also forgo. So by the powers conferred on me as an Osofogwa, I'm prophesying for Linda now. Linda, you're going to be one of the busiest public speakers in Ghana once this book is launched. You're going to be the most requested. And I'm saying that because I know there's a huge vacuum when it comes to all the issues you've raised. And trust me, you have presented a trigger that is going to raise those issues. And fortunately or unfortunately, you're going to be the flag bearer to engage people in this issue. So stand by. The best is yet to come. Now I get to introduce Judge and Justice of the court, and she is going to give us a review of the book. Put your hands together and let's welcome Justice Julia Sarkodemus.
Thank you, Mr. MC. Good afternoon. I was asked to do a review of this book, but I believe the review has already been done. So I'm going to be very brief. Because I decided that if I'm going to do a review, I'm not going to do a full review. I'm going to whet your appetite to buy the book. But your appetite has already been whetted, right? Sorry, before I continue, because I'm quite informal, let me acknowledge our King, His Royal Majesty, King Tepochu, and all the dignitaries in this room. It is our pleasure to have you with us. So, I'm only going to whet your appetite, and I'm going to skip the things which have already, somebody stole my review, I know that, and read it, and used it this afternoon. So wait until you get a writ from the courts on Monday morning. Well, we've already been told that this is a book by a very wonderful author, Linda Ampah. Linda, as we have heard, the book tells us she comes from a broken home, a very difficult childhood, with experiences which affected her until she was sexually molested at age 12. But I can add the bit which she didn't add, so that my book review has something more than what they have said. After Linda has been molested, believe it or not, it is in the book, Linda fell pregnant at age 12. And at age 12, Linda was forced to abort. And Linda is sitting here looking so prim and proper and beautiful. It is by the grace of God. She talks about things which people don't want to talk about in the book. She describes everything so vividly. But as she said, she found solace in Christ. One thing which touched me when I read the book, very first few pages, page 6, she said she found her purpose. Linda was then only 12. And her purpose was making people look beautiful and hearing the sound of sewing machines. No wonder she is looking so beautiful. Because what you desire for others is what you get. Another tragedy falls shortly after Linda has been molested. But what I want to also add, which they didn't talk about, is that Linda was actually molested by a very close relative. And this is what is real. Don't they say that Abobeka Wana Oyeden? Or from Ampah? And Linda, at that tender age, shortly after the event, she lost her mother. The only pillar she had, because she didn't have a father in the home growing up. It is in the book. And what did Linda What did she have to do? She has to become a mother to this beautiful lady who was sitting in the middle there. She was then only 4 years. It's in the book. I'm not going to tell you everything. But at that time, there was a glimpse. There was a small light for later. It's in the book. Linda gets an internship to go to the United States. Isn't it wonderful how God always brings something for you to try and forget what you are doing in that environment? She goes to the United States. She comes back, and her horizon is completely different. Ladies and gentlemen, this book is divided only into 13 chapters. And it starts with early years, routines, through various business ventures. When Linda says she's done everything, she later sold Kilowilly at an early age of 15 or 16 to be able to support her siblings when her mother died. She moved from Kilowilly to various other things, and she's now become a business tycoon. Believe it or not, she is. Each chapter of each of the 13 chapters is so captivating. It provides a defining era, and you just want to keep reading and asking, and so what happened next? I just said, tell you this, that everything is summed up as the courage, the boldness, the spirituality of a purposeful woman. There are many questions in the book, and our beautiful author asks the questions, but what I like is that she normally provides some kind of answer. Listen to what she says. When girls go through such traumatic experience, the usual thing is to blame them. We heard that. The perpetrator is too gentle, especially if it's a relative. He is too gentle and good. You are the bad girl. And what? Instead of helping her, you have brought shame to the family. She tells us that. Really? So she asked, how much can a young girl take? The answer she needs at this time is, that's what Linda tells us, and that's what the professor told us, more love and comfort. Someone just to hug you and say, yeah, it is not your fault. Yeah, this shall pass. Yeah, it is well. So this book talks to all of us. What do we do in situations like that? I have heard many of them because of my profession, and I have dealt with many gender-based violence cases. So when I read this part, it talked to me a lot. When children go through, she asked another question, page 17. When children go through such experiences, what help is there? Of course, if you are being blamed and you are twice a victim, there's none. Thanks to Professor, they are working on that. She says she knows for certain that something goes off mentally inside you. Has anybody ever asked, what is going inside you? I think the professor has. She probably has done many times. But have we parents, sisters, aunties, have we ever asked when we are faced with this situation? And that's what pushes Linda to make such a passionate plea. Mothers, and I'm quoting Linda, mothers, let us talk about sex and everything that comes with it. It is no longer a taboo. Believe it or not, the young people you think they don't know, they know. But if we don't give them guidance, they go astray. And that's why the book becomes so important. And Linda tells us something important in the book. Your body is for you, and you alone should determine how you want it, how you want it used. So whether you are wearing a short skirt or whether your boobs are showing, it is your body. I'm not advocating that the boobs are showing. And as Linda says, these things, they never leave us. So the counseling will be continuous. But what is important is when we have the love of family, especially the love of a husband, the warmth and the love of a husband. And you will find out in the middle of the book that Linda meets the most wonderful man you can ever think of. And that woman has brought Linda all this way. It is in the book. Linda continues to give us some advice. What I also found is that the book has got a lot of nuggets. If you are looking for nuggets and things to use to help people, to help yourself, to help, read the book. She said the people you surround yourself with makes a whole lot of difference in your life. Look at page 51. If you don't have the book, get it and then look at page 51. And Linda says in page 15, I began to surround myself with positive people. Page 14, I began to surround myself with positive people, and I learned to focus in business. If you want to know what kept Linda going, she focused. And she surrounded herself with positive people. Something I also reminded her about is she said she found out that she was always surrounded by matured people and she liked dressing matured people. I just asked her, I'm reviewing the book, I just asked her, am I not matured enough? Just let me know that I'm more than 50, so I'm matured enough. In all, it is Linda's faith in spirituality, her total dependence on God. She has said that she found her purpose, and the purpose manifested in latter years. Linda is now a successful entrepreneur, a mentor, a mother, a wife, and now enjoying more than ever making people beautiful and hearing the sound of machines. Because if you go to Linda's factory, you can't count the number of machines, and they go on the whole day. So her purpose she found at age 12, 13 has manifested. Have we found our purpose? Let us manifest. This is not just an autobiography, this book. It is a manual, a book of golden nuggets, which all of us must buy. Whether you're a pastor, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a social worker, whether you're a mother, whether you're a sister, it is a must for every one of us. Pick one to find out how Linda picked the pieces, how she put them together, and how she blossomed to a very successful entrepreneur, a beauty and a woman of substance. Find out how she put the pieces together. And one thing I can tell you, when you start reading, you won't stop. I have read the book 3 times. Buy it and read it more than 3 times. And as I say, let it be a manual. I promise you, I won't tell you what is in the book because I want this beautiful niece, because I'm matured, this beautiful niece of mine to write another book. You can only write another book when you finish selling, when you sell enough of the first one. So, take a copy and find out how she put the broken pieces together. God bless you.
That was absolutely fantastic. It's in the book. Beautiful. I think I lost my guide here. Okay, thank you very much. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Really, really, really amazing review. And after such a review, nothing should happen at the auction of this book. And it is now my pleasure, after the review of the book, to introduce to us Esther Koba. Here. Oh. Maybe easy being 62, you know. That's my safest thing now. Anything I forget to, but this is the 2, yeah. Okay, after the beautiful review, we are now going to do the formal launch of the book. And what an honor, what an amazing moment to have the whole king himself, King Taki, to come and launch the book, the Gun Marcher himself. Put your hands together and show it to love as he comes to launch the book.
Hello. I think when I hurriedly came to stand here, I didn't see anything at all. I just saw a sea of faces. ASM does a lot of, you must be trying a lot that at a moment's notice you create amusement. Put your hands together for him. I don't think it's an easy thing to just come and stand here and so all the beautiful people and special people here, Madam Furiata, Your Excellencies. I'm happy that we have come this far. We all see today that Linda has been very brave because we all have some very, very big skeletons in our cupboards that wouldn't want anybody to know at all. Gamashin, ga. Osu la teshi mwa tema. And the whole Gandangbe region will need this book. Because we did a research, we are working with a number of people who are also here. I know they don't want their names mentioned, so I will just. In the communities, you find out that there's a girl who's 13 years old, and at 13, you find that she slept with 9 men. And 9 men because 2 of them out of the 9 will be old enough to be her own grandfather. At 15, she's pregnant with a child without any help from a man. At 19, she has 2 children. And you ask them, these are children bringing up another child. What sort of generation are we bringing up? Today, I stand here as part of the Ampah family because, may her soul rest in peace, our mom taught us quite a lot. She's gone, but she's here. Being proper, being good, being straightforward, having a focus, being directed, and all that. And anytime any of us fell by the side, it became a very big scandal because we're supposed to know the right thing to do. I officially, on behalf of all the beautiful people in this room, lunch the pieces of a portrait. That's what it is. This day. What is today's day? 27th of June, 6th month of the year, 2019. This book is hereby duly launched.
Thank you very much. And the book is duly launched. And we're going to buy this book like we've never done before. So amazing. Thank you for those complimentary words you said. I felt good. Thank you very much. Actually, I've stopped emceeing long ago. I'm 62. But when Linda called me, I said, for you, I can't say no. You know, and for the kind of book you've written, I can never say no. So I'm glad to be here. The book has been officially launched. We thank you very much. Now I hear in place of Esther, we have Patricia walking, who's going to be doing the auction. Patricia, are you here? Show us some love. And she's going to make sure that every book is sold. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Hi. So Linda gave me the noisiest job to do, to bring some noise to this room. I want to say first, I'm very proud of you. To stand before so many and tell your story is something that many of us in this room cannot do. So as a friend, as a sister, as a big sister to you, yes, I said it on record, we stand behind you. We are here with you to hold you up, to tell your story over and over again. But I've been given a job, and that's to auction the book. And we wanted to do something a little different. We've been to a lot of books launchings where people mention so many names and people make so many promises. But one of the things is Linda did not write this book or print this book to make money. She's a successful businesswoman, but she didn't do it to become richer. Her purpose of this book was to reach others, people who don't have a voice, young girls, young boys, older girls, women like myself, men like yourself, children like yourself. Teachers are sitting in the classrooms today and they don't know how to have this conversation. Mothers are sitting in their homes. They don't know how to have this conversation. Fathers, uncles and aunties, they don't know how to have this conversation. And Linda has created this conversation. So this book needs to reach each one of us, but it needs to go on. It needs to reach girls in classrooms, boys in the classroom, teachers, so they can use this as a guide. Parents, so they can use it as a guide. Pastors in the church. It needs to reach everywhere. So we don't want anyone, we want your money, yes, but we don't want anyone to stand up to say, I will pay $10,000 for one book. If you're paying $10,000, we want to distribute that many books. The cost of one book is 100 Ghana cedis, yes? So if you're coming today, we're gonna start it with 10,000. It was told 5,000, but we're gonna say 10,000. And if it's 10,000, let's do my math. What's the math on that one? If the books are 100 Ghana cedis, how many books would that be? How many? 100 books? Are you sure? It's more than that. Somebody's 10,000, 1,000 books. So we're gonna ask to open this up. Who is willing to have 1,000 books put out into Ghana? That's what we would like. And then we're gonna go on 10,000 to 5,000 and down. So the cost of the book is 100 Ghana cedis, but we're asking how many books would you like to reach out to students who may not be able to afford this book, who don't have access to this book, who are not here today, so we can ensure that this book is on every library shelf in Ghana. I know I work in a community of Choco, and this book is needed. This is a conversation every single day. Every single day. So KSM mentioned that Linda is getting ready to have a lot of speaking engagements because for me, it's a conversation you don't have. We've used words like assault, molested, abortion. These words are not spoken in Ghana. I'm sorry, they're not. And she has been bold enough to do it, so we should pay. We should pay her for telling her story. We should pay. So, we're gonna start. Is that how it goes? So, I'm gonna ask who in this room, as an organization, as an individual, as a group, would like to say that 1,000 books, which is 10,000 Ghana cedis, will go. And then if that number is what do you say? 100 books. 100 books. Is that what we said?
100 books is what? 100 books is 10,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay, so 100 books is 10,000 Ghana cedis. So is there anybody that would like to sponsor and purchase 100 books? I see somebody's hand, please, somebody. Oh, he doesn't want the camera. So we have one person, can we clap for the person in the top? Am I allowed to say your name? Okay. So we have one person, that's 100 books. Do we have another person that would like to sponsor 100 books or any amount of books? Let's not be shy, let's be bold about this, because it's not putting money into her pocket. It's not putting money into a publisher's pocket. This is saving lives. So do I have others that are willing to help save a life? Linda started a foundation. I don't know if this was mentioned, the Cadlin Foundation. And that's what this is going through. Her foundation to help other young women, to help young boys. Her factory now is filled with young women who may have the same stories, but she's empowering them. Because one thing about having a voice to make sure that this doesn't happen is economic freedom. If a woman is able or a man is able to provide for themselves, then they can't be a victim to some of these things. So this is about empowering young people. So can I hear anyone? And if it's not 100, just name your number. Somebody will come over to you if you raise your hand. You don't have to be shy. Any number. 50 books. Okay, can you just raise your hand so someone can come over to you if you like? Would you like to say?
Oh, okay. I'm a little one. I got married into Linda's family. I'm one of the Ghanaian Kolebu trained doctors who ran away a long time ago. And I wanted to suggest something. In Houston, we have a group of highly trained nurses called SANE nurses, who are SANE, S-A-N-E, sexual abuse nurses down there. Because when a woman is traumatized and they come to the hospital, to have a male doctor is down there is double jeopardy. So I would recommend that they have that in Ghana. These same nurses carry beavers that they come any time of the night when they are called.
It's on Angela. I think it help us with that, yes. We need more female gynaes. That's what we're saying, yes. Is there anyone else? I'm going to start calling on people. I know some people, and I know your bank accounts. I'm being real nice right now. $15 books. 50 books. Can we please? I'll take 10 books. 10 books here. Okay. Auntie Pamela? 10 books. 10 books. Thank you. We have 10 books. We have 10 more books here. Hey guys, come on. We have 10 books here. 10. We have 10 books here. Did you say 20? All family, you cannot do anything less than
10 books here.
Do I hear any others? Has anybody done a count? Okay. We have someone over here.
Yvonne, at PNT 10 books.
10 books from Auntie Yvonne. All right. Anyone on this side?
Yeah.
Okay, we have 10 and 10 over here. Mr. Fleming. I'm going to start calling names. Mr. Fleming. Mr. Fleming will do 10 by force. Anyone else? You have 10 books. Thank you. Anyone else, please? We are here. If you are here and you would like to do 1 book, 2 books, 3 books, I believe you're all here because you wanted to hear the story. It's not Frito. This is not the Kardashians. We spend more on televisions. We buy DSTV so we can find out about other people's lives we don't even know. We are here. In the flesh, she is here telling her story. Corinne, thank you. All the way from the US. 10 books. Who else? I'm coming. If you just want to get up, your name? Auntie Jemima, how many books? 10 books. Thank you. Your name? Nana Aksanti. Thank you. 10 books. Don't feel shy. Don't feel intimidated. If you want one book, it's one book. If it's 2 books, it's 2 books. But please, do not leave here today without supporting this cause and buy a book. If you are not a reader, some people are not reading. Hopefully she'll be doing this in audio soon, yes? So for some of you who are maybe not interested in sitting down, you say, I don't have time, then give the book as a gift. There are young people, even in traffic, sometimes we're annoyed by the people who are even begging from us on the street. Maybe that's their story. Give it to someone, roll down your window and say, here's a book. Your name? And your name? Nikki? Nikki is taking 5 books. Thank you, Nikki. Another 5 from, don't worry, but she takes 5 books. It's okay. Anyone else? Yes.
Hi, it's Maria, and I'll take 5 packs.
Thank you, Maria. 5 books. Can we get someone over here? So we can. 100 books, anonymous. But we know who it is, right? As long as we know who it is. Anybody else? Yes. Your name? You heard her. Thank you, Nana. Somebody, did you get a piece of paper? Did they give you? Yeah. Zoe or? Pastor Eddie, what can we, I can't hear you.
5 books.
I can't hear you.
5 books.
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you. 10 more books. Come on, family and friends. We can do this. Anybody else? So for those of you who are obviously very shy of camera and me, I would say when you leave here or we stand up, you can go over to the table and you can purchase your book, any quantity you would like for 100 Ghana cedis. The books are there. Nanama, do you want to raise your hand? She's there ready to accept your money, and you can have your book. Naya, was there? So she's writing to me that checks go to education logistics. I think the name is on the board. And yes, so a check will be made out to education logistics, or you can pay cash. We take US dollar and we take Ghana cedi. Yes? I'm American, so I can say that. 25 books. Thank you. 25 more books. Please make me proud. Yes? Have I done a good job yet? Yes? Have I done a good job? So can we officially say we are done? And we're going to allow the rest of you to go to the door? Can someone please lock the door? The only way out of this room is showing a receipt that you have paid for your books. The only way. That's it. We're going to do this my way, New York style. So, on behalf of Linda, yes, and baby sister, yes. Yes, we have books. Okay.
Okay. So yes, we do have enough books, not for everyone, but if you have pledged more than 5, we will make sure that they will be delivered to you as soon as possible. And we want to be able to give opportunity for everybody here to take a book with you. And so 5 or up, we will deliver. Anything below that, you can pick it up here at the desk.
So, I think I'm going to turn the mic back over to the MC. Funny man? Yes?
Thank you very, very, very much. I was hoping to hear how many books have gone so far. Do you have how many books?
I have to pick up. To be clear, if you would like to purchase a book right now, you can at the table over there. You can just go over to the table and purchase your book today and go home for 100 Ghana cedis.
Thank you very much. And as the MC, with several cousins, nieces, nephews, and grandchildren, I think I'll buy 20 books for my family. Oh, but my goodness, it's been a great day. It's been fantastic. Linda, your story is very engaging, and I'm glad you've opened this door. And trust me, many are going to really capitalize on this. And in front of everybody here, you have also promised to be my guest on the KSM show on the 26th of July. So, you're all my witnesses. She's been on one, but the main one is KSM show. And she's going to be, we're on a break because of all the football, soccer stuff. So we're on a break. We'll resume on the 26th, and she's going to be my first guest for the 26th. And also, Barbara Walters, I'm looking for a replacement. I'm 62 and I'll be retiring soon. So please apply. Yeah. Wait a second. Fantastic. Fantastic. And she'll be here to autograph your books. So please make sure you pick up your books, and she'll be right here, and she will give you an autograph, and that will be fantastic. So at this point, I'm going to call a good man, a really very good man, a gentleman and an officer, or is it an officer and a gentleman? The man who is proud to be married to the lady. Ladies and gentlemen, show some love for the man, Carl Ampah. And Carl will give us a vote of thanks.
Linda, you did it. My eyes are literally watering to see this day and to see that the story can come out and can help a lot of people. Everybody that I mentioned it to, I see some of my colleagues here, Emma, WFP, my UN colleagues, and we're all part of the UN gender team. And this is the work we do. We see that a lot of people are hurting, especially the women. So for me, living with a real life story, I really wanted the story to come out and to let people know that it is possible. And I'm glad that Linda, you availed yourself of this to be. God bless you. Mr. Diallo, the Nestor representative. I'm also very happy that when I mentioned it to you, you really wanted to be here and you have come. Thank you so much. And my brother, the King, when I also spoke to you, it was just quick through Anne, and you said you have to be here because of family. I appreciate that. Nana, my in-law. I'm truly grateful for giving me, as I said, the best in the family. Thank you so much. And my brother-in-law in crime, Hobna, you are here. We've done quite a bit. I remember those days in Las Vegas, right? That's for another chapter of one of numerous books. So, and I see colleagues that I invited. Amina, you are here. Amina has another story of her own, and I believe that at the right time, she would also share it. I see our church people here. Auntie Pam, Helen, grateful for, I'm grateful that all of you could be here. The Stanford C people, so I mean, sure, that's it. For making it, Reverend Amwati, you've been with us throughout. And for every single soul here, we're truly grateful. And for Rama, thank you for being that sweet little girl, even though sometimes you do your own thing. For understanding, because there's an implication for a book like this coming out for a young girl. But she seems to understand. And for my family, Auntie Jane, I mean, sure, that's it. And my cousin, Mabiesi, you've been with us and you've been supporting us. God bless you too. I think the blessings should go for everybody, and the thanks should go for every single soul. Justice for reviewing it, God bless you. Here's it. What can I say? The master MC. Bringing everything together. Truly appreciate it. My sister, what do we say, my younger wife? You know, masterminding all of this from the US. God bless you too. Sisters, Nanama, all of you, Yvonne, okay. And my sister is over here, Mommy Wayne, Noreen, yes, Lady Justice, thank you. And I'm hoping that with this, we're going to, you and Arba, right? Are going to help a lot of women who find themselves in this situation. Please, let the laws favor them so that they can be helped to leaders. And Nanama and all the others, we're truly, truly grateful. And God bless every single soul. Thank you. Oh, and Pat, my sister from another mother. Thank you for stepping in to do this. You've been with us throughout also. Thank you. KSM, I think I'll hand it over to you. And if I forgot somebody, it's not intentional, but I truly am grateful for all of you. And the GIS friends and ladies and fathers, you're all here. Thank you too.
I'm very, very, very sorry. Another error I can comfortably attribute to being actually happened. I was supposed to invite Kentucky to give the closing remarks before the vote of thanks. So let's just play this small. King, your closing remarks.
Well, I think that we would all admit that it's been a very successful evening. I want you to close your eyes for 1 minute and let's observe a minute of silence for all children, all the women that have suffered this hurt. Let's close our eyes now. Is it a minute yet? Yes. I think that today, apart from all the names we will add to Linda's name, you will also officially call her Manye. So very soon she'll be starring in our traditional settings to preach the same good news. To bring this evening to a close, officially, and we are very grateful. I think that my brother has already said everything already. For all of you who have helped to make this evening this successful, thank you. Thank you very much. Let's keep that here.
Finally, we are going to have the closing prayer, and we're going to invite Reverend Dr. Kofi Martin here again to close us out as he opened for us.
I have been trying to resist the temptation to be talking, because we talk. But let me say this. When I got the book, I understood what happened in Linda's house. When I was schooling in the US, I took vacation, came down. And because my wife was not around, I didn't have any babysitter to tell me you can't take coffee. So one morning I went to the kitchen to fix myself coffee. And Linda came down to the kitchen. And we're talking, and Rip came in. And her countenance changed. Then she turned to me and said, I was trying to be diplomatic about it. And then she said, you don't understand what you're talking about. Anybody who has suffered that can never let it go until Christ comes in. So when I got the book, and for the first time I read that she herself is a victim, I said, hey, I was talking with sensitive issues. Yeah, but I'm happy you're talking about it now. But those who do not know you can say this. They don't know you. Because I know you are forthright, you are bold, and you say it as it is. Take it or leave it. I read with one text, Hosea 2:23. Those who were called not my people shall be called my people, and I will be their God. Shall we pray? Father, we are so happy, full of joy for the wonderful things you do with people who had no name. People whose future looked so bleak and hopeless. This one, Lord, you don't understand, because I'm one of them. And we want to thank you that when we feel so low and dejected and hopeless, you have a wonderful way of putting the pieces together and telling us that it's possible and it's going to work. This is the story our sister is sharing this evening. We pray that wherever you want these stories to reach, and whatever effect you want to bring it to, let it happen. And let broken souls be mended. And hopeless people begin to see hope in what you do. She, like a cloud of witness, is telling us it's possible if we trust God. We thank you for the faith of Linda and how this faith goes to work, especially in the writing of this book. And putting you at the center, Lord, we pray that her pen will never lack ink. and that exhortations and comforting words will continue to flow out of her writing. Bless her with more ideas and show her the way towards helping so many other people who are broken. Bless the work of her hand as you show your favor to her. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. And shall we share the grace? May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. God bless you.
Just a few more minutes. Okay, just a couple of announcements. So we have a lot of books here. We do not want to take one home. And I understand that there are students also in this place who would want to get a copy. And so, yes, the price is 100 Ghana for today. But yes, we would also open for you students to be able to purchase not lower than 30 Ghana cedis. So 30 to 100. If you can honestly pay 100, it would be a blessing to us. And we would also if you are taking 5 books or 10 books and you can pay today, we'll also be happy to take your check and your money, and then we will deliver them to you. If you can, 10 books, we can, 10 books? Okay. If you have your money ready for your 10 books, we can also give some 10 books and then 5, and then the rest will deliver to you. We can do a COD, cash on demand, or cash on delivery, or you can pay and we will deliver them to you. Again, we thank you for coming. There's refreshments at the back by the pool. We would really want everyone to have something to drink. Again, we thank you for coming. Oh, yes, and the book signing is right here. Linda will be here. Bring your book. She will sign and we'll package it nicely for you. God bless you.